Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to another episode of our Inventions modded Minecraft Let's Play series. If you recall last episode, we set up our applied energistic storage. We started setting it up. If you notice, I've started clearing out this room here. Well, I actually don't want that to be. There we go. And just kind of throwing the stuff into there. And since then, I've mainly just added one of these, or another 4K, and I've got these pretty well filled out, and I went ahead and locked them down so they didn't take any new item types. So in our system, we've got a bit more stuff in here, and like I said, I think we're going to end up moving the base, because I think at this point, if we keep building it like this, it's just going to end up being like an underground base, and I feel like it might be kind of boring for you guys. So we're going to maybe do something a bit more open. I don't know for sure. We'll still use the elevator systems and everything for it, but we might make it a bit more of like a flat area. And since this pack doesn't have any magic, we'll just do like a tech design for the whole thing or something. I mean, I don't necessarily know that we're going to end up moving areas, because I kind of like the area that we're in. We'll just move out of the ground, I think, instead of being so rooted in the ground, and maybe just use this elevator for mining and different things. Probably maybe still use this, but do a bit of reorganizing. So, if you have a preference or an idea, that'd be great. I'm still working on it, kind of figuring out what I want to do, and because I don't want to do anything that's too similar to anything that's going on in the other series as far as the building design, but we'll figure something out. So this episode, I mainly just want to cover a bit of auto-crafting and auto-processing. I went ahead and grabbed the alloy smelter that was over there in the other room, and grabbed that so that we can use that to demonstrate processing. And so the first thing we're going to cover, though, is just standard auto-crafting with applied energistics. So the first thing that you're going to want is you're going to want to get yourself a recipe terminal. Let me find it here. Pattern terminal, sorry. Just one of these, not too crazy. So we'll need an ME terminal. Can't speak today, I don't know what's going on. And let's go ahead and get a crafting table here. Throw that in there. And we should be pretty well set if I can click on the right stuff. Oh. Whoops. We'll need... oh my gosh, it's driving me insane. There we go. Oh yeah, we'll need the crafting terminal first. Then we'll grab our pattern terminal. And there we go. So we'll just plug this one in. We'll plug it in right here next to this one. So how many... see, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels. Okay. So I think we're good right now. So now that we've got that, we're going to want to get ourselves some of these blank patterns. So we're going to go ahead and just make one to start with, and then we're going to encode it so that we've got that pattern, so we can teach it to make blank patterns for us. However, before we can start doing that, we're going to need something else here. So let's go ahead and get ourselves an interface. Right here. Okay. Grab one of those, and then we're also going to want to get ourselves a molecular assembler. So let me get another crafting table. And get our molecular assembler. Life becomes so much easier once you have applied energistics. So nice. And we'll set this up for right now. I'm going to say just right here is fine. Eventually, the way I set the interfaces up and the crafting and whatnot is usually I'll have, a string of 8 interfaces, each with 4 molecular assemblers around it, and do those kind of like a pillar or something. you know, kind of make them fit into the room, but for now we'll just do one. That's fine. And what we can do is we can open up this interface, throw in our pattern here, and so now if we pull this up, and right here you'll see blank pattern is craftable. So let's hit make 10 of those for us. Now you notice we're missing iron, we're missing glowstone, we're missing Certus, and it's going to tell us, you know, what's missing. So let's say make one of them. It can do that, and you notice we have no crafting CPUs. It says no crafting CPUs are available. So what you want to do to fix that is you're going to need some crafting storage. So normally I go 16 or 64 depending on the pack. Let's go ahead and make ourselves, if I can find it here, there we are, make ourselves a few of these ME storage components. So we'll say 3, we'll make 9 of them. And then we'll go ahead and upgrade these to, throw them in there. We'll go ahead and upgrade these to the 4K ME storage components. We'll get 3 of those. And then we'll go ahead and upgrade it to the 16K. Just like that. And then to make the the 16K crafting storage, we're also going to need this crafting unit. Pretty easy to craft. So we'll get that. And that's got our crafting storage. Now another thing that I do suggest you craft, we're not going to right this second because we only have one molecular assembler. But, well, we might craft it anyway. This crafting coprocessing unit, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So basically what the crafting coprocessing unit is going to do, which like I said, it's not really going to affect us at the moment because we only have that one molecular assembler. But if you have multiple molecular assemblers, what you can do is, say I ordered a big order, like 500 crafting tables, okay, for example, and all we have in there is oak wood. Well, if we teach our system to take oak wood, make planks with it, and then take those planks and make them into crafting tables, if we didn't have a crafting coprocessing unit, you know, it would send the request to this 16K crafting storage block, and it would say, you know, we need to make this. And then what would happen was, or would be, that it would first craft all the oak wood into planks, and then it would craft all the oak wood planks into crafting tables. But if you have a crafting coprocessing unit, it can carry out 2 different jobs of the same request at the same time, as long as we have molecular assemblers and stuff that's open to like accommodate that request. So for example, if we only had, say, 1 alloy smelter set up and we had a billion crafting coprocessing units, it's not going to matter if we requested 100 energetic alloys, because it's going to have to, or vibrant alloys, because it's going to have to first use that alloy smelter to make the energetic alloy before it could even start on the vibrant alloy, if that makes sense. So you know, having these crafting coprocessing units is really, really useful. Generally, I do like a big block of crafting storage and crafting coprocessing units. Do like a big, usually like a 3x3 block, and that way we have a lot of storage, especially later on when we make really big orders that have a lot of steps. You know, it's got the storage to accommodate that. And then, of course, the coprocessing unit, so it can do multiple steps at the same time. It's really, really nice. Now another thing, if we were to go in here, well, let's do some more patterns first. So let's say, let's go ahead and order ourselves, oh yeah, we're going to need Certus, glowstone, and iron. So let me grab some of that. And grab that. We'll grab this. And we'll grab that. And I think that's good for right now. Throw that in there. And blank patterns, let's go ahead and get like 10 of these. I love blank patterns. Why do we not have enough Certus quartz crystals? What the hell? Let's buy a bunch of them. There we go. Now we got plenty of Stardust to keep us going for a while. And that means it better not pop up and say we don't have enough Stardust in the system. Okay. So let's get 10 of these. And if you notice, it crafts through those pretty quickly. And we'll put these in here, and we will teach it how to make, for starters, let's teach you how to make crafting tables. So if it takes a piece of wood, it can get 4 planks. There we go, encode that pattern. And then if it takes, actually I should have grabbed some planks, I guess. Okay, if it takes 4 of those planks, it's going to get a crafting table. And there we go. Now, one thing I'm going to show you really quick is if we were to request, let's see, let me find all the patterns here. Oh, right there. Okay, so if we were to come in here and we requested 10 of these, and we're not going to be able to get that because we need quartz glass. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead, before we cover more of this crafting unit, let's go ahead and cover how to set up automatic processing. So, let me see. You know what I actually need is a sag mill. Oh, yeah, this isn't linked. Let me link this. There we go. Any synchronized. Okay. So we want to get ourselves a sag mill. And piston. Oh. Let's go ahead and code pistons. We should actually do that. And you know what else we should do is these guys. Go ahead and encode those. That's going to be rather important later on. Machine chassis, encode that. So we'll throw all of this in there. And now see, this is an example of a time where crafting coprocessing units would be really useful to have in your system, because making this kind of stuff takes a bit of steps. I never put cobblestone in here. Let me go grab some cobble. And I'm just going to throw a bunch in the system for now. Eventually, I'll show you a better way to store that. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. Okay, so let's grab a bit of this, just so we've got it on hand in the system. And let's say, oh, I need a piston first. And you can click up here and see your crafting status. Of course, it finished that piston really quickly, so we couldn't catch it in time. But now we'll tell it, if you do this, and let's get a machine chassis. If you do this, you'll get a sag mill. And let's go ahead and put that in there. Now, for example, if I told it to make this sag mill, let me actually bounce out to here. If I told it to make this sag mill, and then I tried to go make one of these, well, did it? Oh, it finished that sag mill really quickly. Okay, now if I tell it to make another sag mill, let's say, okay, we're going to get it this time. I told it to make that, and then I wanted to make a basic capacitor. No crafting CPUs were available. There for just a split second, it said that before it switched to automatic. So what that means is, you know, we've only got this one crafting CPU. So we can only tell it to craft one thing at a time. And until that frees up, you know, it's not going to be able to do anything because it's only got this one CPU. So what you can do is, I'm going to teach you a few recipes here. really, really quickly. Oh, actually, before I do that, before we cover that, just keep that in mind. You know, we need more CPUs, and we're going to set up another one, and I can show you that in just a second. But, and I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining this. I know there's a lot to applied logistics, and I want to give you guys a pretty decent introduction to it. Now, I know next episode I think we're going to set up our Super Soaring drive, because that just seems like a logical step to me to do next. So, and I love Super Soaring drives, so there's that too. We'll just set our sag mill up here. That's fine. It's got power and everything. And we're going to get an interface. And let's go ahead and tell our system... Oh, you know what? Let's tell our system how to make annihilation cores. Let's go ahead and get 2 of those. Let's teach our system how to make formation cores. Get 2 of those. And we'll teach our system how to make interfaces. Interfaces, you're going to use a ton of them, so I do suggest you teach your system how to make that ASAP. And I'm just going to pull out sag mill recipe for right now. Okay. These interfaces do fill up rather quickly, especially the ones for just your crafting processes, and especially early on. So you'll definitely want to add quite a few of those. But, oh, I need some glass. Of course I need glass. Oh, I'm out of food. So we'll get a bit of glass here. Throw it on the system. And now if we tell it to make us an interface, well, sometimes it locks up like that. There we go, and there's our interface. So what we can do is we can actually just put this straight down. No, not that. Okay. We can put our interface down just touching this sag mill. You can actually set it up without it touching using pipes. I do that for some machines, and we'll cover that later on, but no, we want it to face there. You don't actually have to set this to face down. I mean, it's going to be pretty smart about it, so it's going to know, hey, sag mill is the only thing that I'm touching that I can connect to. But I tend to do it just out of habit, and because certain things and certain setups and stuff later on, it kind of will require it. But so we've got that linked up to the system. So what we can do is we can make a pattern. Well, we've got one. So we'll tell it if it wants to make what do we want to do? Let me see. I'll tell you what, we'll do energetic alloy for starters. So we'll tell it if it takes gold, glowstone, and redstone. And we're going to set this to a processing pattern. Just make sure and click that. This one's going to be like your automatic, just your handheld crafting. This is going to be for your machines. So we're going to say gold, glowstone, redstone. And we're going to tell it that if it does that, it's going to get 1 energetic alloy. And encode that. And then we can put it in this interface, just like before. And, oh, no, that's sag mill. I'm so sorry. I'm losing my mind. If you do these patterns wrong, you can just put them in here and change it out. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to say, this is the one I actually needed, nether quartz. If you sag mill that, it's going to get you nether quartz dust. I believe, let me double check, that is 1-for-1, correct? Because you kind of want to make sure the stuff's right. Otherwise, you can end up, it'll mess up your system when it tries to make things. It'll make too much or too little, and it goes crazy. Okay, yeah, I ran through the sag mill. you're going to get 1 nether quartz dust. And we're going to encode that, put it in our interface. So now if we go and we request some nether quartz dust, oops, let's say we want 30 of this. If you notice, it's processing our nether quartz now. And just make sure with these Ender IO machines, make sure and put them to push-pull, and that way it'll deposit the stuff back into the interface, and thus it'll go back into your system. Now, you're not going to be, say while that's running, we're not going to be able to do anything because no crafting CPUs are available. So what we're going to do is we are going to teach it how to, or not teach it, but add another crafting CPU so that we can do multiple processes at once. Now to do that, you're going to need to, of course, craft this stuff all over again. And you can add as many CPUs as you want. Generally I'll have like 20 or 30, so I can have a lot of stuff requested at the same time. Because even stuff later on, we'll teach it how to automatically keep so much stuff in stock and have machines auto-requesting things and all that. So you're going to have a lot of your crafting CPUs tied up just by stuff that it's just automatically doing on its own. So let's go ahead and let's teach it how to make a few things here. So we're going to need quartz glass. So let's teach it how to make quartz glass. Just like that. And you know what? I don't have a pattern. Let's see. We can make 5 of those. And we'll encode one of those for quartz glass. And we'll change this out to that for right now. And I'd say we need another interface, so let's go ahead and get... I'm missing iron. I'm about to go crazy with iron again. Just like we did with Certus. Okay. And there we go. We got plenty of iron to keep us going. And if he knows, this thing just turns around and just refills it back up. So let's get ourselves a few of these interfaces. We're going to go ahead and say 4 of them. Sounds great. And if you notice, we can look at the crafting process and see what it's doing at the moment, which will be useful later on when you have a lot bigger, numbers of things that you're crafting at once. And we'll just set this interface. You can actually connect them all into the same molecular assembler. I think what I'm going to do is just teach it to make molecular assemblers. Okay. That's one of the first things you want to do is get like all your basic stuff set into Autocraft so that you can build your applied energistic system without it being too much of an issue. Okay, so we've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels being used on this. Okay, pretty soon we'll be out of this room because this system, it's not going to be enough space right here. So, okay, let me grab that and we'll set up our molecular assembler to that. Not there. And we'll throw in our recipes here. We didn't have space for. And now we can request molecular assemblers. We'll go ahead and get one more of these. And keep in mind also that any item that you add to this system is going to increase the amount of power that it draws. So, right now it's not too bad. We can handle this. But, eventually it's going to... We're going to have to keep an eye on it. But honestly, then again, I don't know why. We really won't have to keep an eye on it for a long time with this turbine because those turbines are just OP as hell. So, but now we've got 3 of these set up. And these you can also add as many as you want into your system. So, and let's go ahead and get ourselves... We're going to teach it how to make these crafting units. And let's get ourselves a bit more patterns. 2 is nice, but 10 would be better. Oh, I didn't teach you how to make quartz glass. Let's do that very, very, very quickly. So, there you go. Now you know how to make that. And basically, whenever you request something, you know, if it doesn't have the pieces for it, it's going to go back and it's going to create everything that's needed up to that point, you know. So, you know, we'll be able to do more and more, like some crazy crafting and stuff. So, let me see. Patterns. That's what I was wanting. 10 of those. Sounds great. And let's teach it how to make a few things here. Oh, let me grab those patterns first. Okay. So now we'll teach it how to make 1K ME storage components. Let's go ahead and get one, throw it in there. Encode that. And then we're going to teach it how to make 4K ME storage components. And we can't grab one of those yet. This is another thing that I really like to teach it to craft as soon as possible, because crafting these things is honestly terrible. Like, I will be honest with you, it's so bad. And if we can make our system do it for us, it's so much easier. And then we'll teach it how to make these 16K ME storage components. And I think that should be good for now. We won't do the 64K just yet until we automate processors and stuff. And then we'll teach it how to make... Let's get one of these. And this one might take a second. Shouldn't take too long. Okay. We'll teach you how to make the 16K crafting storages, and we're going to need one of these crafting units. Oh. Wrong terminal. And then we'll also teach it how to make a crafting co-processing unit. Okay. So there we go. Now we've got a lot of the basic stuff. I mean, Fluix cable we don't have in here yet, some things like that. But we have a lot of the basic stuff to really grow our system at this point. So we'll get that, and we're going to get a co-processing unit. And we'll just plug this in. Now if you build it right next to this one, it is going to create just one CPU, so we don't want that. So we're going to set it in right here. And these are multi-blocks, so as long as you build them in a cube shape, a cube, any kind of cube, rectangle, any of that will work. So as long as it's just, you know, a solid block like that, it will form into a multi-block. So just keep that in mind. You can make them much bigger. Like I said, I usually do like a 3x3, but you can make them as big as you want. But generally a 3x3 seems to suit my needs. So now if we go in and we tell it to craft this, you know, we can tell it which CPU that we want to use. So, you know, we've got 2 CPUs here, and so we can actually have 2 different crafting processes going at the same time without any issue. So, you know, that's pretty much the basics of that. And that's pretty much, honestly, the basics of processing. There's a few things that are a little bit special to automate, like the inscriber, the chargers, not really too bad, but inscriber is kind of special. Now, the crystal growth accelerators are a little bit more involved than some of the other stuff. But we'll cover all of that just in an episode. Just do automation, applied energistics automation for each of these. It might be next episode, I don't know. Like I said, in order to get all this stuff going, I really need to get this stuff moved elsewhere, because we're going to need a lot of space and stuff, and more of an open type environment than this. So I'll probably end up making, I don't know. You know, I could make this whole section just a big applied energistics section, because eventually we'll have a lot to this. Because I want our system all set up to be controlled, easily controlled with applied energistics. So, I don't know. I'm going to give some thought to it and figure out how we're going to lay this out. Try to figure that out. But yeah, that's been pretty much the basics of processing and crafting, auto-crafting with applied energistics. Like I said, you can just keep on adding on to that, but it's all pretty much the exact same, except, you know, some of the machines are going to be special, which we'll cover those as we get to them and stuff. Next episode, I do believe we will automate the inscriber, the charger, the crystal growth stuff, as well as I'll show you guys how to set up like a super soaring drive. So and that's pretty much going to wrap up the big chunk of applied energistics. After that, there's still other things that we can cover, like singularities and you know, transporting channels and things like that, but we'll try to fit most of it into next episode, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to end the episode out there. As always, if you enjoyed it, please comment, like, subscribe. Very, very much appreciated. And yeah. So until next episode, do take care, and I hope to see you then.